me like a father would watch over a son. And he made me a lieutenant after I had only been in the mosque 3 months. During that 30 days that I had to decide whether or not I would leave show business, and I told you I decided within 30 paces from the luncheonette, I was appearing at the Neverly Country Club, which is upstate New York. This was my last appearance. And I said, well, I'm going to get it all out of me tonight. So I brought my violin, and I played classical violin, jazz violin. I sang ballads, blues, calypso, danced, told jokes. Yes, sir. I did everything I knew I could do. And when I finished, I didn't know it, but in the audience was the manager of Pearl Bailey and Billy Daniels. And he came to me after the performance, and he said, I would like to sign you to a management contract, and you will start with me with $500 a week. He said, where do you live? I told him where I lived. I gave him my phone number. He said, I'll be back in New York in a few days, and I would like you to meet me with my lawyer, and we'll have dinner downtown, and you can sign the contract. He says, and you know, they call it being in the stable of Billy Daniels and Pearl Bailey. Well, when you're in that kind of stable, what he was going to groom me for was playing in these high-priced supper clubs where Billy Daniels played and Pearl Bailey. So if they want Pearl or they want Billy, they got to take Lewis. Yes, sir. You know what I mean? So I sneak in for $500. They get $1,000. He'd take $5 and give me $5. You know what I mean? But $5 was more than I had ever earned. You know what I mean? It's good money today. Some of us would be glad to get $500 a week. And the dollar's not worth too much today. It was worth a lot in those days. I'm saying all that to say I came home that night and I had another experience, a vision. And in the middle of the night, Allah showed me 2 doors. One of them had over it the word success. And there was no door. I mean, I could look straight in, and I saw a mound of gold and diamonds. And the other door had Islam on it and a black veil. I couldn't see. And it was like, you know, that thing on television, you got to choose what door the prize is going to be behind. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now, mind you, I could see success in my career. I would have been a wealthy man as a musician because I was exceedingly talented. And I'm not saying that to blow my horn. I just gifted brother. Yes, sir. That's right. And I know that you would have read about me one way or another. Yes, sir. But in the music field. Yes, sir. And since God had given me so much talent in music, I felt that my mission on earth was to make people happy with my music. I could not talk then. I used to stammer. I didn't know that I could speak. But when I looked and the door said Islam and a black veil, in the vision I said, I'm choosing that door. Not knowing what the future would be. I came to Islam not to be no big shot. I just came to be a Muslim. That's all I wanted to be, was a Muslim. And really, the greatest title that you could have It's not minister, captain, secretary, supreme captain, supreme minister, potentate. The greatest title you could have is the title of Muslim. One who submits his or her will entirely to do the will of God. There's nothing greater than that. Nothing. Within 3 months, I was a lieutenant, and they used to have on Wednesday nights bearing witness night. So they called me up one night to say what Islam had done for me. And as I spoke, you know, the spirit was in the people, and they just went off. And they said, "Oh, make him a minister," you know. So I was assistant minister and lieutenant. And then I couldn't find decent work because I had never worked days. I gave up my career, and I started working or selling storm windows and storm doors, and I wasn't good at that. Then I went downtown. I worked in a restaurant, had me washing dishes, and they asked me to mop the floor, and the mop seemed heavier than me, you know. And then they asked me to peel potatoes, and I had never peeled a potato, you know. And I had more potato throwing away than I had in the pot. So the man just looked at me and said, "Well," you know. And I got fired from every job. Not because I wasn't sincere. Yes, sir. You know, and I was on time. Yes, sir. I just wasn't cut out. But I worked hard. I had me loading trucks. This is the truth. I was strong, but I didn't know how to lift the weight. You know what I'm saying? Yes, sir. Yes. I mean, some of us just know how to do these things. Yes, sir. Yes. And they were laughing at me as I was struggling to put the stuff on the truck. And the foreman looked at me and I went to work on another job building range finders for cameras. Now that seems simple work, but you had to use a ratchet screwdriver, and my brother saw me working with it, you know, but I was coming down so hard on the ratchet, putting my whole being into it, you know. But whatever I do, I try to do it to the max. That's right. And they fired me. But Yusuf was always there with an encouraging word. You see, when you're out in that world, and the world is hard, we couldn't wait to get to the mosque, because the temple or the mosque was so different from the world. It was where we as brothers met. It was where the sisters met. It was where we found that love and that protection in the unity that we couldn't find in the street. In the old days, brother, you couldn't come to the mosque with a frown.